final battle of the preseason of the Naval Sports League. I am your host, Lemerck, joined today by Baboof, our new but beloved co-host from last week's doubleheader. And we are here for not just an interesting, but potentially an extraordinarily consequential final match of the NSL preseason. Today's teams are going to be the SCP-38s versus the VOT Coalition. These are two teams that have had probably some of the most interesting trajectories in the league. We are going to be watching them contest on a map that will be very familiar to fans of the SCP-38. And we will have the wind, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can check me on this, but I believe it is favorable to the VOD Coalition. The wind is diagonally with the VOD Coalition and diagonally against the SCP-38. It will be a southwest wind. So I want to start by turning it over to Baboof. And Baboof, I know you have taken a deep dive into all of these teams and really analyzed their play styles. And I know that you really liked some of what you've seen from these two teams. So tell us a little bit about your analysis of both the SCP-38 and the VOD Coalition teams.
All right, hello everyone. This is Baboof speaking. I've been spending my precious time watching footage of people play a silly video game, but I haven't regretted it so far. So the SCP is a team I think that has really grown. You'll get into the stats soon, but they actually have a real chance to make a proper splash if things go right for them today. They started out a bit. They started out a bit shaky. They didn't do super well in the beginning, but then they've grown, and they've won their last two matches. Of course, the thing is that they've been on the same map both times, and the one before that was also on a very similar map. I can't pronounce it, Agatea, which has the same map basically with a different spawn. So they do have a bit of an advantage there. I think they've become a little bit of a dark horse for me, especially watching the footage again. They're definitely a team that likes to experiment a bit, maybe a bit too much for their own good, but they have a real instinct for pushing the enemy, for actually taking advantage of situations that are in their favor, which you can't really say about every team. That sometimes, they miss chances, but the SCP definitely don't miss their chances. Maybe they go a little overboard sometimes, but they know how to close. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
Now, the VOD Coalition is a team that they've had not the greatest run. They've had one victory, which is a pretty good victory against the Bonapartists. The thing is, if I was to advise the VOD Coalition, they start out with just kind of normal fleet actions, which they are, maybe could use some practice, and then they decide, okay, F this, we're going to brawl, and they're actually good at brawling. They get in nice and they get messy, they get dirty. They can really put a scare in, especially a team like X that's not actually very good at brawling because we're not very good at fighting hand to hand. If I was to advise the VOD Coalition, I'd say, well, just cut out the first bit, just go straight for it. You don't have to line up in a nice line. You can just go and crash into the enemy if that's what you want to do. I'd be interested to see which approach they take today. I think the SCP could deal with a brawl. They have shown that before, so I don't know if it'll work. It'll work on what works on X doesn't necessarily work on SCP, but it'll be interesting to see what approach both teams take today. I'd probably favor the SCP just because they've won twice on this map. I think they can handle anything the vodka would throw at them. They probably come in with a plan. The main danger is that their plan gets too elaborate and they do something crazy and vodka just comes in and smacks them in the jaw. That would I say be their route to victory. But all in all, I'd probably favor the SCP.
Yeah. I to kind of piggyback on some of the stuff you've been saying, because I think it's a great analysis. The SCP have been my favorite team to watch of this preseason, because they just constantly surprise you. And sometimes they surprise you not by doing things that are surprising, but even by doing things that are sort of textbook standard good practices. Their first two battles, they were crazy. They engaged in some crazy maneuvers. They engaged in some crazy tactical gambles, and they didn't really work out for them.
No.
And then we saw when they fought I believe this was the one where they fought the Seawolves.
Textbook.
And then it was total change in their demeanor, and they became a perfect line battling machine that just exploited an issue that the Seawolves had with the map and just got a better position and beat a team in the Seawolves who we saw last week are, if they have good positioning, are absolutely fearsome. And yet the SCP picked them apart by just
Easily,
having
yeah.
a better fleet formation and a little bit more space to maneuver. Now, like you said about the the VOD Coalition do love their ugly battles, but the problem with the for the VOD Coalition is that those ugly battles are in response to the enemy really kind of dropping the ball on punishing them for some of the crazy stuff that they do. And this is something the SCP also dealt with, but the SCP did get punished for the crazy stuff that they did, whereas the VOD Coalition in some of their battles they don't get punished and they pull off these crazy maneuvers. Sometimes they don't win, but there's lots of time where they're just like, I think it was the VOD Coalition who had, I distinctly recall their flagship just sailing past the entire enemy fleet and barely taking a scratch, and it was like completely isolated. And so this is as much a testament to VOD Coalition bravery as it is to their opponents sort of just dropping the ball on the opportunities the VOD Coalitions give them. But today, I think does not drop the ball and focuses in on the VOD Coalition, they have some interesting opportunities. So let's get over to the Naval Sports League's standings and where these teams can go in that. Specifically, the real opportunity here is for the SCP-38. They are 2-2, 2 wins and 2 losses with plus 25,800-ish points. They have every possibility with a strong and significant victory here of running up to second place on the leaderboards. That would be a huge upset from what we expected out of this league. The SCP in the beginning, in the middle of this league, did not look like they were running the kind of strategy that was going to get them to a possible second place finish. But with the Kraken's loss last week, and the Seawolves have put themselves in a comfortable second position space, so it will not be easy. But I can see the SCP with a victory here today. Second or third place is well within reach of them. I think third place is really well within reach of them.
I'm
As
going
for
to
the,
put my money down on second. I think they
you
only
think
need
second?
they need 10,000. They need 10,000, I think, to get the second place.
They would need
They're like
basically
9,000.
exactly
They're like
10,000.
9,800 behind or something. So
Yeah,
I'll put them down for 10,000. I think they can do it.
I I
Yeah, I
absolutely
mean,
do think they could do it. The
yeah,
VOD Coalition are looking at a little bit more humble gains to be gotten here, and I think their top position could be sixth place. So they would just bump the Bona partnership down by matching the 2-3 win loss ratio. But it would take a 15,000 point victory ish
yeah,
plus 15,000
15,000.
plus
I think.
victory. So that would be a huge victory that the VOD Coalition would have to get. We haven't really seen those kind of victories from them this season. I'm
If they
not.
win, it's going to be a tight. It's going to be a real messy brawl where
Yeah,
they just scrape out a win. I don't see them winning by like a blowout.
we
If they
got to
win, yeah,
see.
it's because they did something. They really kind of caught them flat-footed or something and
Yeah,
even score. But I don't see if it's.
yeah, we've got to see which SCP-38 comes out today. Um, that is really going to depend on whether this is going to be close or whether this is going to be like an SCP-38 that's sticking to fundamentals, great fleet formation, strong cannoneering, good positioning. That battle may be a little bit less bombastic, but it's going to get the SCP-38s what they want, which is that 10,000 plus point differential between them and the VOD Coalition at the end of this battle. Whereas if both of these teams kind of go towards their more aggressive instincts, yeah, we're going to see probably something a lot lower in point difference. That's, again, I agree with you. I still think the SCP-38 is going to take it.
It's a huge advantage to have played this map several times. Like it's just
Yeah, they know it
it
inside
just
out.
is like yeah. They've seen all the strats. They've seen what they can do. I'm
Yeah,
sure they have a plan. Knowing them, I'm sure they have a plan. So.
yeah. So I mean,
I'm sure the
and
population does too, but they haven't
yeah,
played
I
before.
think the
So
VOD Coalition does too. But the VOD Coalition is you know, they can get very messy. And I don't think the thing with the SCP-38s is that they've shown us that not only can they be messy, but then they can also be organized. I have not
yeah,
yet seen that from the VOD Coalition. Like you said, they start really nicely. They usually start with like a good line formation, and then they just go nuts. Um, and I agree with you. I think I don't, because again, their goal here is to just get a win on the board.
yeah,
Whereas the SCP has to get a certain kind of win. The VOD Coalition want to bring it close and get ugly right
yeah. That's
away.
what I would do.
Yeah.
Get into those islands, and just start an all-out brawl.
And again, they're going to have the
That's what I
win
would do.
today. So they're going to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
they can do it.
opportunity to rush in quickly. It's not perfect wind. Like it's not the wind is not dead against the SCP-38, but it is diagonally against them. And as I recall, I'm trying to think when we did the wind direction. Because what we're seeing today, the map that we're going to be on today, it has the open ocean on one side and the various mixed islands on the other side. So it's the half and half one, and the
Yeah,
teams
but
are
it's the
starting
one
at
where
that
they.
middle line. The teams are
Yeah,
starting
they're
at the
starting
middle
the
line.
middle. It's the middle
Right,
one.
so
Yeah,
they
not
can
where they're
go in either
stopping.
direction. They can choose to go into the open oceans and have it there, or they can choose to go into the the islands and get a little complicated in there.
Yeah, that's
As
if I was vodka, I would go there and then just try and get it messy, try and confuse. Like they have
yeah,
sometimes the SCP has looked a little bit meandering in those islands, like, and you could take advantage of that. That's what I don't know. That would be my plan.
yeah, I agree. And so, at the end of this, we are going to. This is the last battle of the preseason, folks. So just to let you know, because we do have a little time to talk about it, what comes next over the next few weeks. Of course, we have the holidays, so it's going to be a little intermittent with the content that we're going to be putting out. But I am going to try and invite some of the admirals from some of these teams to join me for wardroom type episodes where they go over like their best and worst battles or some of their favorite battles for the season, and we'll talk a little bit more with them and get into their heads a little bit more about every moment that they experienced here and what they thought of their performance and their team's performance. Um,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
after that, we will be basically because this is the preseason, folks. So what preseason means is it's not the first official season. We're not going to crown like there will be somebody who's at the top of that leaderboard at the end of the NSL's preseason, but we won't have all the pomp and circumstance that we will be having next year when the first official season is going to be unveiled and fought. At that time, at the end of it, we're going to be crowning a champion admiral, and we're going to be doing a lot of the ceremony to it. At the end of the season, we're going to be more focusing on the individual players that really stood out. So we're going to have a broadcast probably closer into January, or maybe in December, but probably in more like in January. Where we will really go into the thick of the scores for the league, and we will try to really recognize the players who made the difference here, because we talk a lot about the admirals, we talk a lot about the captains, but the players are such an important part of what makes this league great, and we really want to make sure that they get recognized. So we're going to have lots of different awards that we're going to be giving them, and then we go into planning for season one and adjusting. The preseason is a trial season to see what works and what doesn't, and the teams and I are going to get together afterwards, and we're really going to try and put together a season one that takes out what was not perfect about the preseason and adds in new ideas that are conducive to great competition. So we'll get back to you with more on that. But we are now getting into the map itself. So let's take a look. Let's get in there and take a look at the map itself, which I will get you guys in just a moment so that you can see. Now, our teams today, again, SCP-38 on the French team, those are going to be the green ships, and the VOD Coalition, the British team, on the yellow ships. So I'll show you there what that looks like, and you can see it as soon as we can get it on screen for you. Again, that's going to be the green ships, which are on the right side. That is the French team SCP-38, and on the left side of your screen, you have the yellow ships, the British VOD Coalition. The wind is southwest, so you can see on the bottom left corner of that overhead, southwest is from the bottom left-hand corner of the screen and going up towards the top right-hand corner of the screen. So it's taking the yellow VOD Coalition ships into the islands. If they follow the wind and they want to get maximum speed, they're going to be going into the islands. But I have every prediction, and tell me if you agree, Baboof, that the SCP-38s in their French green ships on the right side of the screen are going to go against the wind into the open ocean.
Wouldn't that take them?
It would take them
Wouldn't that put
dead
their
wind.
nose around?
It
I
would
mean,
put
I
nose to
probably
the wind.
wouldn't. I don't. I hate going right into the wind. Uh,
I think they're going to try and
that's a
bank
hard
it.
question. Yeah,
I
I
think they're
think
going to
they
try and bank
probably
it.
will. They probably will for at least for a little bit, and then go into the. I mean, and then react on based on what the other one is.
I,
Yeah,
I,
why not? I guess
I think they're going to try
it's
and
two
pull
wins.
the VOD Coalition into a slower battle. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I said, you don't really want the VOD coalition to come in close.
yeah,
You wanna keep them at bay before they like can
because
run at you.
you
So
got to
yeah,
be thinking if you're the
that's why not.
SCP-38. You got to be thinking if you're SCP-38 that if you go to your southeast, right? So if they turn right they turn starboard in the beginning and they go into the islands and they go southeast, the Vought Coalition are going to get there faster because that's perfect wind for them. So why
Yeah.
give your opponent
So
that
why
perfect win?
bother? Yeah.
And also there's a possibility the Vought Coalition are thinking, hey, we have this great wind in the southwest. Let's blitz that way. If they blitz into the perfect wind and the SCP, so if the Vought Coalition on the left side of the screen turn left and they go into the islands, but the SCP-38 turn left themselves and go into the open ocean, the Vought Coalition are going to have to then turn around and go against the wind to collect, to get back to them. And that negates, so they take the early wind, but they lose it in the mid game, whereas then the SCP will be banking it for themselves. And I think you could see, I think that's exactly what the SCP-38s are going to do. You could see that they're lowest on the right-hand side of the overhead. You can see the lowest 8 gun is already turning into the wind. The Vought Coalition are doing nothing. They're not moving.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
No sails deployed. They're waiting.
I mean,
they're watching.
They're pointing into that. They're pointing to the islands. They are slowly turning their ships into the islands.
But I think they're doing something very smart here. I think they're thinking, oh, let's not make the first move. Let them make the first move.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think it's wrong for the Vought Coalition to go into the islands, but definitely you got to set up a nice. You got to be ready for the SCP when they come in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Here it goes. And so yeah, we're seeing this come to pass. That yes, the SCP-38 in their friendships on the right side of the screen are heading directly against the wind. They're going northeast when the wind is going southeast, but got a lot of space and a lot of open ocean to recover.
SCP is going open ocean as well.
Yeah. So now the Vought Coalition is going to go with them here. The Vought Coalition is also turning into the wind. Now, again, either way the Vought Coalition goes, they're going to have better wind than the SCP-38. Because right now, Vought Coalition is sailing into what we would call half wind, where the wind is perpendicular to them. Whereas, again, the SCP on the right side of the screen is going directly dead against the wind. So it is pushing directly against their sails. So there's really no bad options for the Vought Coalition here. They are going to get better wind. They're going to get closer faster. The question is now that both of these teams have decided that they're going to go into the open ocean, how do they avoid a death spiral? How do they get to a position where the opponent is weak and they are strong? That is the major question here.
I think the SCP should probably bail on this at some point. I don't.
Yeah, you think they're going to turn in? They're going to do a hard port turn, hard left turn at some point?
I think they must, because you can't just sit there.
Looks like SCP are turning. I mean, they're turning already. Yeah. They're getting started now.
You need speed. Like, wind here there, you need speed. You can't be sitting.
And you need speed a lot earlier than you think you do. That's the big thing.
Sailboats accelerate slowly. They're not less maneuverable.
So as we can see now, the SCP have turned directly towards the Vought Coalition, and the Vought Coalition it looks like they're matching that. So both teams are basically heading straight for the other one. The question is are they going to bail through any of these gaps between these large pill-shaped islands to the south, or are they literally going to just go forward directly into each other and create the kind of chaos?
Stopping? Oh, Vodka's... No, they're just adjusting.
They're adjusting to make a better line. They got a very nice line, the Vought Coalition.
I guess so, but they didn't really need to do that. They're not that far, but okay, that's just nitpicking.
If I was a Vought Coalition, I would continue in a northwest direction. You want the northwest because that gets you the wind. You get around behind the enemy fleet and you can whip around behind them. I see the SCP-38s as being in a particularly difficult position for themselves right now, and I think they have to bail and go into the islands now.
Yeah, but the Vought Coalition, they keep not moving. They're not just adjusting their line; they're waiting.
They are waiting.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, but
they have the better wind here. They have the better wind.
I guess they're not rushing into anything. But the SCP is they have to get to that gap there. They can't really go anywhere else. So you think you'd want to go and try and take advantage of it.
I would be going a little faster if I was the Vought Coalition right now, but that's just me. I think they have some kind of plan, and they do have a good fleet formation. We also have to take into consideration the mentality of these admirals and captains coming into these battles and the level of gusto that they have for a good, dirty fight here. I think the Vought Coalition, I've been chastened a little bit by some of their recent losses. Even their win was hard fought and very ugly. And I don't mean ugly necessarily in a bad way. It was just a messy battle. And I think they
kind of shattered at first in this very situation.
Right.
Actually, very similar situation to this, but then the Bonapartists didn't really take advantage of it, and they sort of reformed it.
Yeah.
Fought around them. That was an interesting match.
All right, so we do see the SCP-38 going into the islands.
Oh,
And
they're
I
going
think
to
this is
the first channel. Okay.
yeah, this is the
Hmm.
right call for them. Because if the
Yes.
VOD Coalition, well, I think defensively it is. I don't know about offensively. I'm not sure what they're going to do offensively here. But the VOD Coalition, if they had stayed on our side of the islands here and they stayed to the north, the VOD Coalition would have swung around behind them and punished the rear of their line. As
Oh
it is
no, they're
now,
not going in. They're not going into that. I thought they're going to that channel there, which I thought would be dangerous because um because
the
then they could be
SCP-38s
in
are
trouble.
waiting.
But yeah,
They're
yeah,
waiting.
they're waiting for him.
They're taking it
This is
real slow.
yeah, interesting. I don't think we expected such a slow start. I
No, but this
certainly didn't.
is kind of good. It really does show a level of maturity from these admirals about
Yeah.
making sure the engagement is on their terms.
Look, one thing I've noticed is I've been going over the footage. You really see in the early games how the 13 gun is basically always leading, and it's just a disaster
They
every
don't do that
time.
anymore.
And nobody does that anymore. Look, they're
Yeah,
third.
the
One
Krakens.
of them is in third position. One of them has in fourth position.
Yeah, the Krakens did that
They've
last
got
week, and
this
it didn't
three.
go well for them.
No,
Um,
yes, sir.
yeah. All right.
All right,
So
is these
now
the first shots fired? I think so. First shot fired
probably
in anger.
fired. The ones that certainly the ones that are most likely to hit that have been fired. It looks
Yeah,
like the
yeah. I mean,
SCP is not going to hold the battle here in that gap. They are going
no,
to move through it. The
they
13
want to
gun is
get into
well
the
in
battle.
range though, so it's firing shots over. And I'm sure some of these 8 guns might even be kind of close to range here. Yeah, I'm seeing
Yeah,
a
they don't
pretty
seem.
close ranged battle here, just with each team on opposite sides of the island.
Interesting.
Is interesting. And again, we were talking about this before we started the stream, but both teams are also doing a very good job keeping their gunboats reserved. Um,
Yeah.
we don't have Warble here, who always does a great job of keeping us appraised of whether those are gunboats or rocket boats. But the way that you can tell is one kind of boat has a square sail that is sort of perpendicular to the way the boat is facing, and one has one that's parallel to the way the boat is facing. And Safe, do you want to you actually chime in and tell us which is which so that the audience might be able to pick out for themselves?
So the gunboats are the ones where the sail is parallel to the boat.
Okay.
The rocket boats are the ones that have it perpendicular.
Okay.
Okay.
Our
So Vodka has
resident
two-
boat expert, Safe. Thank you very
Vodka has
much.
2 gunboats, and there's a rowboat here. It's kind of straight. I'm kind of wondering about that.
There is a
There's someone in the
single.
water. There's
There's a
person in the
single
water, yeah.
carpenter that seems to be swimming towards
keep an eye on that.
towards the British fleet. The VOC coalitions may get a carpenter boarding on their 13 gun, or probably more likely that guy's just going to get shot.
Their gunboat noticed that they noticed.
Yeah,
Well. It wasn't exactly subtle.
I think it's
So,
metric.
right, so now
I'd put money on it being metric. Yep, it's metric. They
Okay,
got him.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that
so
was not subtle enough.
we see here that the SCP-38 is drawing the VOD coalition into a very dangerous position.
All right. Do they turn left or right, the Vodka? They look like they're turning
Vodkas
left.
are going to turn left.
Right.
They're definitely
I
going
would
to turn
turn
left.
right. I would turn.
I also would turn right. I do not think they're going to. I think they're going to turn
That's
left,
dangerous.
and they're going to get caught.
Hmm,
Oh, there they
I
are.
don't know.
You're right. They're turning right now.
Oh, thank
They're
God, they're
turning right
listening. Again, folks, they're listening to us.
Yeah, good
Their
job.
voices
Good,
are in their
listening.
heads.
Good listening, VOD coalition.
Yeah,
So they're going to have an opportunity to put a little hurt on the rear of the SCP-38's line. I don't think it's going to be too significant, but it's going to be something. And then we're going to have a line battle where the SCP are going to be in a interesting position, the same position possibly that they were the opposite of when they beat the Seawolves, because the SCP are going to have that pill-shaped island ahead of them, whereas the VOD coalition has basically open pathway to go towards the wall.
I'm surprised the SCP is going this way, and this might be a mistake. They should have maybe taken the long way around that island. This is a very great. I mean, it depends. Yeah.
If they all they have to do is stop,
who wins
they
this
just
race
have
to
to
this
stop at the
corner?
pill-shaped island. If they stop at the pill-shaped island and they just hold there, they will not deal with the issue that the Seawolves faced when they were fighting them, which is that pill-shaped island forces you to steer towards your enemy for a few minutes or for a few critical seconds. It does look like the SCP-38 have most of their cannons in rotation on that first ship now. Well, it's to be seen whether or not they have the range, but they certainly have the rotation.
Seen much damage. There is damage being done. Let's see.
It's not a lot.
Not
All
a
right,
lot.
so the SCP-38 are risking it. They're going in, but you know what? Their speed is good.
Yeah,
their speed
they
is
can
good.
make this.
I think they can make it. That 13 gun's got to move. It's got to hit all sails right now, though. You cannot. All right, so it looks like it's staying. Well, it's staying. Both of these 13 guns have decided we're going to park and fire. Very interesting.
Surprise.
I wonder if they're
yeah,
in range
I think
of
they
each other.
should
They
keep
seem like
going. I mean,
they are.
This is a race to the corner, basically.
Well, maybe not for those
Um,
13 guns. Maybe it is for the 8s, and the 13 guns are going to get left behind, which would be interesting and not often seen, where the fleets leave the 13 guns behind. But they do seem to be doing so right now.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of focus fire yet.
Not at all.
Yeah, some of the 8 guns have a tiny bit of damage, but it seems pretty evenly spread.
No, 21 minutes left on the clock, and we haven't seen anything major here. But the 13 guns do look like they are targeting each other pretty significantly. Neither one wants to lose a 13 gun, and I don't blame them.
So now we're gonna. I mean, I guess this is going to end up at the wall. Can't
It
really
is.
see anyone else.
But the interesting
And
thing
getting
here
nice
is
and close.
the interesting thing I think that could happen here is that the SCP keeping that 13 gun in reserve, they could be thinking about using a late game maneuver to cross behind the enemy fleet with their 13.
They've done
They
that
like
before.
that
They
aggressive.
did that against.
Yes.
They did that against the Bonapartists. I want to say. Oh,
Ooh, look at the front of the fleet.
Just turning in. Come on, go
All right.
kill Nelsons. Commit.
Yep. This is VOD Collision. This is prime VOD Collision right here.
Come on, do the whole fleet. Don't have.
No, they're not going to do the whole fleet. They're going to do one. They've got the HP for it, and they're not going to be punished too because this is the fleets have gotten very close at this point. So the VOD Collision are going to disrupt.
They're spread out. They're more spread out. Look at this.
They are.
That 13 is too far away, man. That 13 is. I mean, it
Yeah,
might
the
work out, but
SCP-38
it's
is
real far
13
away.
may find itself out of range. I mean, it is in range right now. But as this battle continues, how does it get back in range? If the VOD Collision holds its 13 gun in that position, it actually can punish the SCP and block it from ever coming any closer to this battle.
They're split in half, and they've got an 8 gun blocking the behind. This is looking very nice.
Yeah, this is
nice.
From the
VOD Collision.
This is what we expected from the VOD Collision. It is a little bit of danger. They do like it messy. They do like it ugly. The thing here is that the VOD Collision's 13 gun is a little bit vulnerable. It has 3 ships firing on it right now. It does need to get out of there. It is doing a good job.
It is getting out of there, and the
is.
SCP-13 gun is nowhere to be seen.
It's going to have to go around the pill-shaped island. It's going to have to go left around the pill-shaped island, or well, it could cut across. It could cut across from behind.
This is
wow. They are going to hit that wall hard.
Yeah.
Hit that wall hard. I'm surprised at that parallel. Oh, good shots from that parallel 8 gun for the VOD Collision, the one that's firing into the back of the ships.
Vodka needs to focus an 8 gun. I mean, there is one heavily damaged one, but they need to sink a ship here.
Wow, I have no idea how this is going to come. This is going to play, but it seems now that the SCP-38s feel that the pressure on their 13 gun has relieved, and they are bringing it back into this battle. But that's going to be a whole minute where they don't have it, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah, they are.
Wow, this is a cool battle. I think this is going to end up being a very fun one. That said, it looks like the VOD Collision ships are getting the worst of this, unless I've got.
No, I think I think the right side is the. Oh, look! Mass went down. The right side.
Mass went down on the SCP-38s.
The SCP. Yeah.
We will see when one of these ships sinks which side is really taking the heat here.
I mean, I'd say the Vodka 13 gun is slightly more damaged, but the 8 guns are more damaged on the SCP side.
Yeah, the SCP-38's 13 gun though is going to have a beautiful opportunity to get behind the fleet here.
Yeah, and the SCP, so VOD Collision 13 gun is having a C-crossed right now. It just took a pretty heavy damage there to the backboard.
It is.
So, yeah. But they're getting out of it. Now...
No, this is where it goes wrong. I mean, the ship that is threatening the SCP, the VOD Collision 13 gun, is taking significant crossfire from 2 8 guns, but I am very suspicious that the SCP-13 gun isn't going to just take out the VOD Collision 13 gun pretty quickly now that they're close.
I think so, yeah.
So, I mean, just looking from the HPs, the SCP-38s are way ahead. Way ahead. That gambit by the VOD Collision did not really work out in an HP total. Well, actually, wait, maybe it did. Maybe I'm looking at it backwards.
Yeah, I think
you're backwards.
So the one with the 8 gun that's about to sink is the SCP one. I'm pretty sure. And 2 of their 8 guns are heavily damaged. Yeah, SCP's on the right. It's the Vodka's lost a gun. They have lost the gunboat battle. That could maybe.
Oh, okay. So then I reversed.
And the 13 gun is heavily. Their 13 gun is pretty damaged, but now the SCP-13 gun's also pretty damaged.
I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there. If the so then I have to reevaluate here. That move from the VOD Collision was apparently a masterstroke, and their 8 guns took relatively little damage.
Yeah.
And so all they have to do is even out the issues. All they have to do is even out the issues of the 13 guns. They just have to just get back. They have to hit the hell out of that 13 gun on the SCP.
They need to. They are. Look, they have the 2, and now that 8 gun is coming into rotation on the 13 gun,
okay.
and I hope they shoot at the right ship. I hope they don't shoot at the 8 gun, but they shoot at the 13 gun.
Yes, they really are, and they're turning into that 13 gun. The 13 gun is going to be getting hit from multiple sides. How fast can they do it? That's the question. They're crossing the T. They've got one on. They've got great angles on this SCP-38.
On the one on the right, I forgot about the one here by the isolate.
Oh yeah, by the wall, just sitting there, firing at it. Yeah,
I mean, that SCP-13 guns is the vodka 13 gun is going down in a second, but let's see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the damage of the SCP-13 gun that they really need here, and I'm worried that
SCP-13 1 8 gun is turned. That vodka 8 gun is turned incorrectly, and so is the one by the wall.
The one that's the VOD Collision 13 gun that's crossing in front of his own 13 gun
is down.
Really derelict. It should have been doing a lot more.
Man, they should have had 4, but they should have had every single ship fire.
Exactly. They have the shit. They have tremendous 8 gun ship HP right now. The problem is that 13 gun if it escapes this trap, it will dominate this battle.
Yeah, easily.
And it looks like the SCP-38 have regrouped.
Vodka is spread out. Look, SCP is regrouped, and SCP really hasn't. They're going off in.
Yeah, VOD Collision is worrying about gunboats. They're all this is the issue with the VOD Collision. They don't have they lose cohesion so fast in these battles. They hit really hard into the enemy and then they lose the cohesion. That said, they have made such tremendous gains in the first half of this battle that even the thing is they do have the capacity to band back together in the latter half, but they've got to start shooting at that 13 gun.
Yeah, come on. Get it together.
Or if they do, they have to focus fire on something because there are 8 guns that are ripe for the picking here that they're just not getting.
I wonder if that Hulk has any guns on. I don't see any shots coming from it, so it doesn't look like
it. May not have rotation. I really don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to see how things are going. And yeah, well, we'll see when they start shooting. Right now, that one 8 gun.
I saw a single shot come out from it.
Is losing HP. Wait, I'm a little bit confused. There's the. Why do I only see 3 8 guns on my screen from the VOD? SP. Oh no, okay, there we go. It's behind the sinking ship. That's right.
Yeah.
And messy.
Very, very messy, very messy. And we're seeing now that the 8 guns on the VOD Collision are beginning to deplete. Their HP is beginning to go down.
Yeah, so they're going down. They haven't managed to do anything.
That Hulk looks like it just got taken out.
Oh yeah,
the mastless ship is done. So now, please, VOD Collision, go focus fire on something else. Because that's what they need to be doing here, and they're not doing it. There is an 8 gun that's going to cross behind the 13. Again, the 13 is not out of danger yet. There are ships converging on it that can do tremendous damage to it. And again, if they can quickly take out that 13, the VOD Collision got this. They got this still.
Turn those 8 guns and fire at the bloody 13 gun. It's right there.
The ship that is going from northwest to southeast in this middle section here, it is very likely to be turning its port side cannons in so that it can hit that 13 gun.
Finally, yeah.
And so we will have 2 ships crossing behind the 13 gun. That will be really nice for the VOD Collision, and I think they could use those 2 broadsides. But no, they're focusing fire on 8 guns. Turn your port side cannons towards the SCP-38's 13 gun. Stop firing at these 8 guns.
It's pretty heavily damaged. It could go down.
The 13 gun could definitely go down, and I think it will.
It's still anyone's game. I think it's still. They still have pretty good HP. This is a question of who can coordinate. And right now, the SCP's kind of lost their.
Yeah, the SP is in 2 separate groups here. They really needed to reform. They
haven't done anything in a while. They've just been heading to southeast.
Yeah,
I don't really know where they're going.
It's not. Yeah, the 13 gun has been. It's had its T-cross for a lot of this time. For a lot of this time.
T crossed by 2 ships right now.
Yeah, it's going to go down. I think.
Okay.
I think these 2 ships are going to take it.
Or better. I mean,
Yeah, they really ought to.
I wonder which of the HP. I wonder which ones
And
are
we-
the ones with HP.
And just on the other side of this battle, we have SCP-38
Messy.
ships ramming into VOD Coalition ships. Obviously, they refuse to be the only ones. They will not let the VOD Coalitions be the only ones to try some daring, heroic tactics here.
Yeah,
And it's going to work for them on
are-
these 2 ships. They're going to get some good angles. The question is, are they going to sink themselves trying it? Because I don't know which of these ships are really low on HP, but a lot of these SCP-38 ships are.
Oh wow,
really,
yeah, no, they're really
low.
low on HP now.
So this is looking
They
like
are-
a VOD Coalition victory.
It's looking that way. Yeah,
I'm seeing because these 8 guns are going to go down one after the other. 8 guns going to go down, and 8 guns going to go down. A 13 gun's going to go down, all in rapid succession.
Once the 13 gun is down, it's it's almost there.
The VOD Coalition are a little ahead in the gunboat wars too. They have one more gunboat or rocket boat than the opponents. Yeah, so I think this is going to swing
and this
pretty heavy. Look at this 13 guns against the wall now. It doesn't want to be there. It's going to go down any second.
It's down. It's not even responding. I don't think it has any cannons.
Brutal.
Yeah, what a trap. The VOD Coalition really.
Wow, they got
The
close.
crucial moment is is when the Lions went there and the
13 down.
Win that, there we go. Yeah, the VOD Coalition won the race to the final, and the SCP inexplicably left its 13 gun behind.
Yep.
And that was it. It just wasn't. It wasn't there where it needed to be. And the VOD Coalition didn't. I think the SCP probably maybe their gunfire is a little bit better. They were like they put the damage and they focused the 13 more than the VOD has been able to do. But just if you put yourself in such a bad position like the SCP did, then you're gonna get punished for it.
This might end up being a sizable win for the VOD Coalition. Because they're going to have 4 8 guns left.
Yeah, I mean they basically have two 8 guns that are basically dead and one that's healthy. And I'm sure those are about to go down.
Yeah, any second.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're still up, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see which. And all the other ones, they're they're mostly fine.
They're at half. Most of the VOD Coalition ships are at half HP. A perfectly good place to be in here.
Basically not damaged at all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which it is. All right, seal the deal, vodka.
Yeah, it's taken a while. Because there's a lot of boarding actions going on. I think they're actually having more fun.
Yeah.
They're having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah,
This is what the VOD Coalitions live for.
A mast went down here. Yeah, this is messy.
Rocket boats landing hits on that 8 gun. Nice shot.
3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they're having a ball out there. That's what they're doing.
They're having fun. They're feeling themselves.
And as well they should. I mean, why finish it early? Rack up those points.
We were wrong. We were wrong. We thought the SCP would.
The thing I think
they win this, but like I said, if they win, then it's going to be a scrappy thing like this.
And it was. The thing that I think the SCP allowed themselves to get caught in is a close battle.
Yeah,
I don't think the SCP wants because you can see anytime you get too close to the VOD Coalition, they just turn their ships into you. They're like, screw it.
Yeah.
You have a cohesion. I'm breaking your cohesion. And
the difference was that when they did it to us, they'd already been damaged, not like super heavily, but they had taken some real damage. This time they didn't really have any damage.
Fresh.
They basically fine. And then once they marched in there, it's just like the SCP didn't really have a response. Their 13 gun, they didn't see it coming, even though. No. I mean, if there's one thing, they're kind of a one-trick pony, the VOD Coalition. If you can count one thing, is that they're going to crash into you.
Yeah. And by the way, while we've been talking, the other 2 8 guns are sunk. There is 1 8 gun remaining and 2 boats remaining on the
it's the one by the island
side.
there. It's just a cleanup action by now.
Pretty clean, decisive victory on the part.
Decisive victory. We were lay dead wrong.
Shocked.
I said if they win, it'd be close, but
shocked. And I mean, it really shows that these guys are like Vikings out there, man. You get close to them, they're gonna take the axes out and they're gonna jump on your ship and they're gonna.
SCPs, they should have kept to the open water.
Yeah, I think it would have benefited the SCP.
What they should have done is once they were in that channel, they instead of going in the inside of the long island, they should have gone on the outside. You know what I mean? Instead of where they got caught, basically where the 13 got caught.
Yeah, you wanted them to take a left around the island that they're still near now. They wanted them to just
Where,
basically go around the left.
where the 8 gun is now, they should have gone that way instead of going in, which was an unfavorable angle. I mean, they had a bit of a bit better angle at the beginning, but then afterwards, there's an island way. You
The
can't go
thing
that
is,
way.
they got there on time. They didn't get too punished for going in, but they held their 13 gun in reserve with the
Yeah.
idea that they'd be able to swing it in and cut behind the VOD Coalition. But the VOD Coalition, they
Yeah.
don't have a behind. They don't have a
No.
front, and they don't have a back. They
Yeah.
meld with your fleet. And then
Honestly,
you
they
don't.
overthink it. They overthought it there. They got too fancy. I've come out against trying to split your fleet before, and I will again. There's just like why just you deprive yourself of that firepower for no reason.
Yeah, you do. You do definitely risk something when you do it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's all about timing. When you
It's the
split a
worst one.
fleet,
It's the
it's
worst
all about timing. So you've got to have a plan for getting your entire fleet to reconverge all at once. It can't be staggering that your ships stagger back into the battle because they'll get taken out one by one.
Yeah, I can see the logic. They thought, oh, the vodka's just going to go into the wall and we'll go behind them. But they didn't count the vodka just crashing into them. They should have.
Now this ship's got a lot of HP left, so it's going to stick around for another minute or two. But and it's certainly possible that they might take out another SCP-38 boat or 38 ship.
Nah, I think it's over.
But yeah, right now what we're seeing is a lot of boarding actions, a lot of on deck actions here, and very fun to watch, I'm sure, for you audience. But the verdict is in. The VOD Coalition have won this battle, and they've won it really handily. And this is the VOD Coalition. These guys, the VOD Coalition is the Jackals, man. They have had such an arc. You know, they hit like rock bottom, and then they just started bouncing up towards the latter half of this season, really kind of coming into themselves. And this is the result. And I can't wait for next season. And I wish we had 10 more games to play this preseason, because I think we'd see guys like the VOD Coalition really perfect the art of what they do. They focused on it. Yeah. They took their lumps learning how to do it, but now they kind of seem to understand. Lure the enemy in close.
Take notes, people. If you're playing the VOD Coalition, don't
take notes. The VOD Coalition do this.
Don't let it happen.
They will do this every time that they get a chance to.
Yeah,
they love it.
Why
not? They live for it.
Yeah, you got to play to your strengths. You know, if you're good at long range gunning, do that. If you're good at brawling, do that. It's fine. There's many ways to win.
Yep. And again, we're seeing the last gasp of this SCP ship. It's sending boarding party after boarding party out on these rowboats. Again, very cool, very fun. But it is now about to sink, and this battle is going to be over, decided in favor of the VOD Coalition, who have come out of nowhere to take a team that has trounced some of the strongest teams in this league, and really made it look easy on their home map and everything. Wow, VOD Coalition for the win. What a game. A beautiful and fitting end to the NSL preseason as we watch the VOD Coalition.
Wow, that is a blowout. Look at that.
That is huge point difference. Huge.
Is that 18,000 about?
Wow. All right, so 18.
Cemented sixth place.
They're definitely going to be in sixth place, no question about that. They're not going to get into fifth place because they start with negative and they need to get into the positives. But they've secured themselves a sixth place position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, they are going to be sixth place with 2 wins and 3 losses, and a lot less negative points than they started this with. Phenomenal battle. Oh, what a cool one. You really didn't see this coming. I think neither of us really could have seen this coming, because we were just so worried about how inconsistent the VOD Coalition can be and how not whatever the opposite of risk averse, risk taking that they are. But today they risked it again, as they risk it almost every time, and the SCP got too close. They like you said, they should have gone on the outside of that pill-shaped island, kept their distance, and let this be a long-distance brawl, which I think they would have favored them tremendously. We will wait.
Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Sorry, I didn't hear your last things.
No, all I was just saying is, all I was saying is just kind of summing it up, that they took a big risk and they lured the SCP-38s close. I think you were totally right, Baboof, about them, really the SCP-38s needing to keep the distance, which they did not do. They engaged in the scrappiness, because I think the SCP-38s do love a good scrap too. They do love a little bit of chaos, but they got out chaosed today.
Yeah, they brought the chaos magic, the vodka. And what I also liked is that they were patient. They didn't just my advice was just storm right in there, run right at them and smack them. But they actually waited. They stopped for a while.
Yeah.
Um, they didn't. They waited for their chance. They didn't go. They made all the right decisions. Really, they
Yeah.
turned where they should. They waited where they should. Yeah, they waited for their opportunity to strike. And once it came, I guess I wasn't surprised that it happened, but when it happened, it was just such a pleasure to see when they
Yeah.
broke and
Yeah, I can't. I
took
agree with
the
you. I'm
enemy.
not. I'm not surprised that the VOD coalition closed on the enemy and made things messy. I am kind of surprised that it worked. Um,
Yeah,
but again, we have a team in the SCP-38s who are not entirely against, and we'll talk to them in a minute about it. They're not entirely against a little bit of craziness in their battles. They do like it as well. And so I think maybe the VOD Coalition were a team that was uniquely suited to engage the SCP-38s in this way. Other teams look at the SCP-38s as a little bit of a wild group, and so they kind of keep their distance. And today it was the SCP-38 who probably needed to keep a little bit of extra distance. And because the VOD Coalition, they live for this, and they've got a lot of practice doing it. And so today it really went out for them. Not to mention again some fleet maneuvers that sort of that I think. And again, let's get into it right away, and talk to these admirals because I have some questions I want to ask them
Mhm.
rather than just stating it myself. So we do have here Muffin Top Scout and Piet are representatives from both of these teams. So first off, I would like to congratulate both of you guys on a great battle and a fine finale to the NSL preseason, which we were really enjoying from start to finish. I would like to start with the SCP-38's Admiral Muffin Top Scout. Sorry for your loss. We want to talk to you a little bit about what was happening today, what the battle plan was, and how it turned out for you. And we'll get into some specifics. But yeah, take us through what you thought about the opponent, what you were planning, all that.
Yeah, I was really kind of thinking about how the VOD Coalition were going to engage at the beginning of the map or match and see, since they had the favorable wind, if they were going to go straight into the islands or not. And I did want to start out by going out to sea at first and see what options we can got there. And then when I saw that they were committed to engaging us out in the open, I decided, okay, let's take it into the islands. And at that point, when you saw us make our turn, like I was thinking of them more of a like trying to turn this into a line battle, kind of like a lot of the other matches have become, just across the NSL where we both kind of stand off and cannon it out. But I should have considered that the VOD Coalition like to break through. But yeah, my plan was to then just try to cut in front of them and then focus them down. And once I saw that the enemy eight guns were starting to turn in to kind of brawl with us, then I told my ships to begin turning with them and start brawling with them while at least the first two eight guns, while the rest I was trying to focus down their 13 as much as I could. And that was like the ultimate plan is once everything got all mixed up, I told everyone to like turn your ship so that you have an angle on the enemy 13 and just take it out. And it kind of then turned into, after that point, it turned into nearly individual ship actions. I was trying to give them a target if we could focus it, but there was some good cannon kills from their team that disabled quite a few cannons on my ship. So we kind of just engaged where we could, and then at that
So
point, I was just like, "Go down fighting, boys."
is that correct? That like kind of by the midway point, your 13 gun had lost a bunch of cannons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because we noticed that there wasn't a huge rate of fire coming out from them in the latter half of the battle. Another question that I had for you was the decision to kind of hold back that 13 gun when you got to that pill-shaped island, right? So,
hmm
the front of your fleet was getting sort of rammed by the Vauclician ships, and your 13 gun was kind of holding back. And it looked like probably you were waiting for their 13 gun to kind of like leave that area so that you could turn in safely and not get punished for it. When you were bringing that 13 gun in, what was your plan to do with it once it kind of got to the mess? What was your plan there?
yeah. So the main plan was for just not just for my 13, but for all ships, kind of as I said, was to focus down the enemy 13 since it was in the middle of all my ships, and we had angles. So I told everyone to focus it down, and then I was just gonna kind of mini death spiral in that area. I was I didn't want to get stuck on the wall. I wanted to try to keep maneuvering even with the wind. I probably should have stayed back a little bit more, but I don't know. I liked what the VOD Coalition was doing, and I kind of wanted to meet them ship to ship in a sense. I
Yeah.
wanted to get in close and match them because it's very rare that it happens, and I wanted to, they challenged, and I wanted to take up that challenge in a sense and try to beat them.
Yeah, well, you guys put on a hell of a show for us doing so, and it is always nice to see two admirals who are just game to get scrappy with these ships, and we loved to watch it. And as we have loved to watch most of your guys' battles because you are two teams that always make it interesting. Baboof, do you have any questions for Muffin Top?
Yeah, wait, so you just said you regret not holding the 13 back even further? I would have thought you
All
thought
right.
maybe I should have immediately I shouldn't have stopped and should have brought it forward into the action.
Right. So at that point, I was engaging their 13 gun, and I think I was trading quite well in terms of damage on them. I think my gunners were a little bit better on at the long range. But when I saw that their 13 gun was basically turning in to get into the brawl there, I decided that at that point I was gonna swing in, and I should have like swung out and chilled with that enemy 8 gun that was off to the side in a sense. But I just decided to get stuck in.
So you preferred to actually kept some distance and just sniped them from distance, you mean?
Yeah,
That makes sense actually, yeah.
yeah, I felt like I said, I felt like I was in the favorable position up until he turned into the melee. At least
Mhm.
from what I saw, so I was just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna bring him down before he can do a lot of damage onto my 8 guns, and then I just accepted that we're gonna brawl it out.
So did you also have this is the third time you're playing this map. Did you have any particular expectations? Did you have any sort of I mean, you probably went back and looked at the footage. Did you make plans based off that and prior experience, or did you just more?
Well, I made a couple plans with my captains, just for initial maneuvers, kind of like the beginning one of we're all gonna go out to sea first before we decide to turn inwards because we want to, I have to know what VOD Coalition, how they're going to maneuver their ships before I can adjust. But yeah, I wanted to do that, and then just if I had to fight them to the wall, um, what I probably should have done is the major mistake is when I told my ships to turn towards them, I should have probably just said we're gonna chill on the far side of the pill-shaped island and see if they can come to us a little bit more instead of
Yeah,
turning
I thought
inwards.
that was a risky move to go on the right towards them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
we were we were wondering that was the sort of the 50-50 thing that you could do there. You could get into the battle like with most of your ships, or else stay on the outside and kind of keep
yeah,
it a ranged thing, which we've seen you do before. But we do know that you, I think you guys were
yeah.
seduced by the good fight.
I think yeah, it was it because once again I kind of thought that VOD Coalition would do what everyone else has done in the game and turn their ships and take it to the wall. And
Hmm.
it's that thing, force of habit, or not force of habit, but everyone's tactics to date have dictated that. So when they turned inward, that I should have been like, oh yeah, they're brawlers. So
Well, I
Yeah,
definitely
okay, not
want
it.
to thank you again for an excellent season, and it looks like you will neither go up nor down in the rankings as a result of this battle. So you kind of hold your position here. Again, I've said it at the beginning, and I will continue to say it. I think you guys have probably been my favorite team to watch throughout this season, because not only do you sometimes scrap it up, but also you guys sometimes, snap in to, sort of the more traditional battle formations and strategies, and it served you well this season. And again, we just, like I told all the teams in these last battles, I am personally, and we are also appreciative of you guys for participating in the NSL, and we cannot wait to see how your team continues to develop in the future seasons. And I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. I can't wait to see what can happen for how to improve it and try stuff out next season.
Yes.
And then, yeah,
Good.
just looking at if maps need to be changed, having a fun discussion on if we think that. I don't know how the general community feels about them.
Yeah,
I
I
know
think.
I would just like to fight on other maps now.
Yeah, next season we're gonna get you on a lot of other maps. I think that's one of those things that that I think we may have overlooked a little bit in the planning stages, is just how many times a person would be on the same map over and over again. As much as it might benefit you to be on the same map a bunch of times, I think you might enjoy the variety of experiences. And not only going to change these maps based on your guys' feedbacks, but we intend to have more and different maps in the future to add on to this, so there's a lot more variety next season. So stay tuned for that, and we'll, of course, we have a meeting on the 22nd, which I hope you will attend, where you can tell me all about your feelings on what can be improved for next season, so that you can enjoy it even more. But again, thank you so much to you and all the SCP-38 admirals, captains, crew, for a great season. And we'll miss watching you for a few months, but we'll see you back in February. All right, so let's switch over. We had a new person join the chat here, which is Loho Master, who was, I believe, the actual admiral in command. Is that right, Loho and Piet? Was it Loho who was admiral for today? Okay, well,
Yes,
we'll
it's
talk to
me.
both of you a little bit. First off, congratulations on an exceptional victory. This was a really big point score victory for you guys. It bumps you guys up a slot over the Buona partnership, but right under the SCP-38s on the standings. So this was about as good of a result as you could have asked for from this battle, and it was a battle that seemed uniquely suited to the way you guys play. It started off where you guys were, considering having a battle in the open ocean, but both teams quickly turned in towards the island, swung around, and then got very close. And very close is where you guys get very dangerous, and you made that very apparent today. Not only did you turn into the enemy, but you dealt tremendous damage to them in that mess of a melee. And once you, even after your 13 gun got sunk, which is not usual in these battles, even after your 13 got sunk, you guys really held the initiative for quite a bit of this battle. And so tell us a little bit about what your strategy was coming into this, and how the battle played out in your view.
Well, to begin with, we have been doing the strategy plan and so on as usual we do before the battle. And well, we have planned many different stuff, but we were really thinking about getting the wind, which is not in our favor, like at any.
Right, yeah, you guys were pretty
circumstance.
shocked when you found out that you'd have the win today, weren't you?
Yes, I was absolutely shocked. I was so confused. I was like, oh no. And does it happen that we play in our favor? Oh my god, what do I need to do now? Yeah, but well, we had already the strategy for that too, but still, it was like really, I don't know, unexpected to throughout the all battles to on the last battle to take the wind, which will be in our favor. Oh my god. Okay, but so we started out and we fought to copy the enemy moves. And so we decided to do like that because first the SCP-38 team, they decided to go to open sea, and I was like, well, against the wind, this is really nice. Not really, I wouldn't say really nice, but in my opinion, it's really interesting move. I was
Yes.
like, I was thinking, what do you want to do? Okay, I decided to copy their move. First, you might have seen that we have turned right much
Yes.
because we were thinking to go to violence, and we were thinking that they will also go to violence, so we'll make a brawl there. But like unexpected, they decided to go to open sea, so we decided to. And now they turn in violence, and I was like, okay, so here's the chance to cross their T and completely ambush all of their ships. And this actually happened. So we just got in the open sea, sailed a bit, and then turned exactly in their T back, fired a bit, and then fired a bit again, and then we made some kind of parallel line fighting, you might have noticed, which was going exactly into the wall. And I was thinking about taking a risky move to turn in the enemy line, and it actually worked out because the enemy 8-gun and 13-gun stuck in the island, and so it was kind of lucky in our
Yeah,
case.
you had this beautiful opening to get in there and get close, and you definitely leaped on it. And I think one of the things that we saw today that this is not the first time you've tried this. This is not the first time that you've tried to again board and get messy, but this time was so special because when your fleets got really close, no one had really lost that much ship HP yet. Neither side had really taken that much damage, and that's an opportunity for when you guys can really cross that short distance between the front of your fleets, get in there, and put the hurt on a little bit, and you guys did. So once your ships started getting entangled, even when your 13 gun got damaged, what was your priority? Were you organizing all of your ships, or was it much more like each captain is just trying to get a good position? Like how cohesive are you guys when you're in these chaos moments?
I was actually organizing the whole stuff. I was
Okay.
telling everybody what to shoot, what to aim, each captain individually. So yeah, and at the point when the 13 gun started to enter the enemy 13 gun started to enter the theater, I made everybody who can fire with enemy 13 gun, but eventually we could not prevent the sinking of our 13 gun, which I was really afraid of.
Yes.
I was like, oh no, so their 13 gun will annihilate all of our fleet. But luckily, our 8 gun has actually annihilated their 13 gun. Not annihilated, but it was kind of damage for both the ships. But because we had much more ships firing in their 13 gun, it sunk quite. Not very fast, but it actually sunk, so it didn't provide as much damage as it could.
It was a little bit closer to the end, but I think as Muffin Top reported, I think you guys did a lot of cannon destruction. And so that gave you extra time. And even when that 13 gun sunk, I mean, I know you guys can only see your ship HPs, but from our perspective, you guys had the clear ship HP advantage. Like all of your 8 guns were basically fine, even at the point where the SCP-38's 13 guns sunk yours. And so you had lots of time and space because there wasn't really focused fire on any one ship. Everybody's firing in all these crazy, one-on-one battles or one-on-two battles. You got to get those cannons in and put some damage in. But it took 2 ships behind the SCP-38's 13 gun for quite some time to still take it down. But I think at that point it was mostly defanged from cannon explosions. Just a really awesome battle, guys. You must be thrilled with the results and the point differentials and everything like that. I want to turn it over to Baboof really quick. Baboof, I'm sure you have some questions. What do you got?
Not really. I think it was just a really good match. I think you guys really played to your strengths.
Yeah.
Took advantage when you should. Is there anything you? So yeah, I don't really have any questions of the game because I think you guys did the best. Yeah, you just did a great job. So I don't really have any notes on that. But do you have any plans going forward? Is there anything you want to work on that you said like, oh, I really want to work on gunnery. I want to work on gunboats, rockets, fleet maneuvers. Is there anything that you envision for the future?
Well, for that kind of case, I suppose recruit more people from somewhere in Holfast so we can man our gunboats too. I mean, I would really say a big thank you to all of our 15 pp comrades fighting in Bot Coalition, because of course I will say that S guys are the best or something, but in case of this battle and all of any battles, both parts of the Bot Coalition team were working really nice. I mean, I'm really grateful to see that 15pp sailors have grown up in their skills so much throughout the whole pre-season. Like comparing the first battle and the last battle, I mean basically the two 15pp 8 guns have sunk the 13 gun of an enemy, and also the other 8 guns too. Of course, with the help of Saboteur's 8 gun, but still, it's kind of nice improvement and really nice damage dealt. And I also want to say a big thank you to my sailors too, for their, I mean, that they still stay in this league and so on and do all the stuff and go in the trainings. because everything of that has eventually worked out, and exactly in the end of this year, we have kind of a present. I don't know how to say. We won this battle, so shocked we are about it. Actually, we didn't think that we would sink the whole fleet. We would think like the same as the last battle. Like okay,
Mhm.
so we sunk more ships than them. Good, but now, well, we have no ships left. Oh my god, what happened?
Yeah,
So
I
I
yeah,
think
think what happened is
everybody
that
was
like
shocked.
everything
Everybody
went
was
right for you guys. I mean,
yeah,
you turned at the right time. You didn't take unnecessary damage, and the SCP went in went in direction that suited you, I guess.
yeah. This was like the most refined version of the VOD Collision playstyle that I have ever seen. And because like again with the SCP-38s, they've had crazy battles, they've had organized battles, and so like you never know what you're going to get from them, and I really like that about them. But with you guys, we know what we're going to get just about every time. It's this. And you guys like it really you just refined the process today to really obviously the conclusion speaks for itself on what a great battle that you guys had today. So with that, I will thank both the ESC and 15PP, Loho and Piet. You guys have made an astoundingly great team together, and it has been a joy to watch you guys play and watch you guys. I compared you guys to Vikings today. That you don't want to let them get close, otherwise they'll take your ship. And that is kind of how I want to leave you guys with that moniker and that compliment, because you guys have been a wonderful team, and I really feel like you're right now in this moment. You've really come into a mastery of your play style, and I cannot wait to see more of it next season. I really hope we get a lot more recruits so that you can have every boat to yourself and you can continue to refine your play style. And just like I said to the guys from the 38, it's been our honor to have you here, and we really hope that you've enjoyed this season, and we hope to see much more from you in the future.
Yeah, can I add a detail or something like that?
Sure.
Of course, the floor
Yeah,
is
Go
yours.
ahead.
the only thing I want to say right now is that when you hear the 2025, the new league, actually, from what Coalition side and from, I suppose, from our teams, it will bring a lot of new stuff. And maybe I will just make an interview or something like that. Something unexpected might happen. So
You
I would
keep
say
teasing me with something, you guys. You're cooking something over there. What are you
yes,
cooking over there?
yes,
They're
because we
joining
have
X.
something
They're
to.
all joining X.
Oh God, please. That's not
Oh well, but
Could you
well,
imagine?
genuinely, what I want to say is that big changes are coming, and so
Okay.
the new year will show everything.
I
We'll see
cannot
if it
wait.
works out.
I cannot wait. It's going to be on my mind for the next 3 months. What the hell these
Not
guys are
only
planning?
you, I also cannot wait.
Oh man. Well, what I'm happy most to hear is that you guys are excited and enthusiastic for next season. And again, to both Muffin, Loho, Piet, our admirals for today. Thanks so much for a great battle, folks, and for you listeners as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have enjoyed this preseason of the NSL. This preseason was our test season to learn and practice and try everything that we're doing here in the NSL. It has taken a tremendous amount of work from many talented individuals who you will see when we roll our credits, but it is even more than that. The admirals of every one of these teams, the mercenaries who participate every week, the crewmen who show up for every one of their battles, all the people who communicated behind the scenes to put this together. If we never had another season of the NSL, this itself, I think, would have been a glorious testament to what a great community the naval community here in Holdfast is, and what a passionate and talented group of people who play this game. And it has been the honor of my year and my career in playing Holdfast to host this all for you. I hope that you have enjoyed the Naval Sports League, and I hope that you will continue to follow through with us as we go through this winter break. We will have content coming out. I will be inviting a lot of these admirals to come back and chat with me about some of their favorite moments from the season, as we work towards making the official season 1 of the Naval Sports League, which will debut sometime in February. More news about that to come out. Don't also forget that we will be recognizing all of the luminary players. We're not going to do too much about the teams in this break, because this was a tryout of the concept. So we don't want to toot the horns of those who succeeded or rag too much on those who did not get the best scores by the end of the season, because this was a test for everybody to learn the ropes. But the individual players, on the other hand, have put out tremendous efforts, and they will be recognized in an official capacity by the Naval Sports League Commission. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. With that, Baboof, it's been an honor, and it's been an honor with every single one of the other people who are listening in, and have joined us to create this great league. And we will see you again on some small times over the break, but we will see you again officially in February for Naval Sports League Season 1. This is Lemerck signing off. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Thank you
Merry
all.
Christmas.